What's going on, everybody? Here's an update to our Reaver Berserker build. What separates this from your typical Reaver is that we rely on weapon skills rather than Dragon Rage. Done some videos on both kinds of Reavers. But with the DLC came some new items and skill upgrades that added a few new dynamics to this. Thought it was worth checking out, so thanks to people hanging out on stream, we went ahead and leveled up another warrior to test out this new build ideas that I had. Now, the first two primary skills are Block and Slash and Mighty Blow. Notice that free whirlwind you get with the new upgrade to Block and Slash. All right, and then this, Grappling Chain. With this upgrade specifically, give them the boot. All three of these skills have one thing in common. You are able to knock enemies on their ass, and that is a key to this build. Not only can your tank, also with Shield Bash and Payback Strike, knock enemies on their ass, but with you being able to do that with just about everything you do, and that is something Dragon Rage doesn't do, you take advantage of Coup de Grace, which gives you a 30% damage bonus to anyone who's stunned or knocked down. All right? And then if your tank is doing their job by spamming Challenge and Warcry, you ought to be also getting a 20% damage bonus most of the time to anyone that's within weapon reach, because your tank should be keeping them taunted. Right? Of course, your tank also gets the same bonus. Right? So I do like using Challenge liberally, especially to gain guard with my Reaver, and taunt a few enemies of my own. So anyway, keep everybody taunted, get damage bonus there, and then of course the Reaver passives are all built towards bonus damage and bonus movement speed against enemies that are hurt and when you're hurt, right? And then this is why I call it a Berserker build, because I'm really going for the attack speed. That's what I really want. If you can raise your attack speed, you raise your DPS, right? Now, why do I have Dragon Rage, you might ask? Well, for one reason specifically, and this really is what kind of ties this build together, is to get that attack speed, they included a new item. It's called the Belt of Urgency, right? And so what I do is use Dragon Rage specifically to give away my health. It's a nice bonus that I can do damage at the same time, but the main thing I'm trying to do here is get myself below the 50% mark. And then my attack speed will go up. That attack speed does not apply to Dragon Rage, but it does apply to your basic attacks and all your other special abilities. You'll pull off your Mighty Blow, you'll pull off your Grappling Chain. You can't really pull off Block and Slash any faster. You wait for someone to hit you, and then you immediately return the damage. But with your other abilities and all your basic attacks, you actually do them faster also. But your basic attacks go up, so these fancy criticals that I'm putting out, I'm applying them faster, right? And so my logic is that if you're putting up maybe a little bit smaller numbers more often, then you'll eventually outweigh the big spike numbers that you might put up otherwise. So anyway, notice here, once my mage is doing her job, which she's supposed to, and giving me full barrier, and once Cassandra's doing her job when her focus ability kicks off, and she gives me a full bar of guard, then how am I supposed to get rid of half my health? Well, I use Dragon Rage for that. Once I'm below that 50% mark, I can leave it alone, and I can go back to basic attacks. Now, I want you to notice I have Ring of Pain active. If you notice, my stamina bar down there in the bottom right is steadily going down, but my basic attacks are keeping my stamina bar full. That enables me to also use my weapon abilities, and the huge chunks of damage you get from like Mighty Blow, Block and Slash, Grappling Chain after you kick somebody and all that, those more than make up for any slightly smaller damage you might get from your basic attacks as compared to Dragon Rage. And you also don't have to sit there and manage your health and your stamina. Dragon Rage does not knock anyone down, so you're losing that 30% bonus. Dragon Rage does not get you stamina back per attack, so your Ring of Pain just goes down and then it eventually wears off by itself. With this, using basic attacks, you can keep your Ring of Pain active essentially all the time. One really beautiful thing they added to the Ring of Pain is that it now moves with you. That is one of the upgrades for it. They also gave an upgrade to Cassandra and her Blessed Blades, where if you are in the ring produced by Blessed Blades, which is kind of like a holy version of the Ring of Pain, I guess, if you step out of it, you take the effect with you for like 10 or 15 seconds, right? And so you get an added bonus with that. And so with these few new upgrades and this wonderful new belt that they introduced here that raises your attack speed, not only is it a little more fun to play because you're not quite so slow and sluggish, and I can just imagine if you're playing the Sword and Shield Reaver, what your attack speed would be then. It'd probably be through the roof, because I know you attack a lot faster with a one-handed weapon. In fact, the DPS might be a little higher. I just have a lot more fun with a big two-handed weapon. That's just what I prefer. I picture a Reaver going there with a big hammer or an axe or a huge sword, and just, doing your thing. But either way, whatever, raising that attack speed raises your overall DPS over time. All right, now here's just an overview of the way I build my teammates that go along with me. Keep in mind that this is designed specifically for friendly fire. I also keep a lot of the trials active that also came with the DLC. Basically, they introduce enemy immunities. Enemies now scale with you to your level, whatever, so you don't run into any dragons that you out-level by 10 levels anymore. Whatever level you are, that's what they're going to meet you. Now, if you're under their level, they're going to be where they're at. If they start at 12, they're never going to be under 12. But if you go to 22, they'll be 22 when you get there. It's beautiful. It's awesome. It brings back more of a feeling of a true nightmare mode. All right, so here is, I thought I would go ahead and craft the armor that I use for this particularly. This is the best piece or best set that I could find for what I want to do. I found it in the Hissing Wastes. I believe the arms and the legs were there also. And I think it's called the Battle Master. Anyway, the key to this is it has utility slots rather than defense slots. And what utility slots allow me to do is add strength to my gear. And the arms and the legs are like that. I think I get my strength at like 42 with just my armor set here, counting arms, legs, and the armor itself. Now my headpiece, that mask I'm wearing, is a special item you get from Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts at the Orlesian Ball. And it's specifically from arresting the traitor, the assassin. Okay, I doubt I'm spoiling it for anybody, but I won't go any farther than that. But you have to specifically arrest her. You can't fight her or go about it any other way. You want to arrest her, and you'll get this mask. And what this mask gives you, I'll show it to you in a minute. I think it's called the Mask of the Duchess. It gives you a 15% critical chance. Critical chance is huge with this, because what I'm wanting to do is pull off a critical with just about every hit. So I want my chance up there, and I don't know, the 65 to 75 range-ish. I think I got it to 70-something here. We'll look at my stats in a little bit. But anyway, the key with the armor here is you look for any armor sets that have utility slots. If you want to go with a rogue set, you can make it out of snowflower skin, and you can wear it with a warrior, and then you can put in materials that give you extra cunning or dexterity if you want extra critical chance or critical damage. You don't get near the return off those materials simply because they're designed for rogue stuff, so you can't really double dip into those stats like a rogue can. A rogue gets attack and critical damage out of dexterity. You'll just get a little extra critical damage. Then cunning only gives you half a point of critical chance per point. So if you sink 20 points into your armor, you're only going to get a 10% critical chance out of that. I'd rather bump my strength up like 42 points, okay, and bump my attack up, and my attack goes into my overall damage all the time. So that's why I geared my this particular armor set like that. I went with the rogue set on my other Reaver, and I thought I would rethink it with this one. If I'm getting my attack rate up high and I'm just trying to put out a steady stream of damage, I'll get my lower attack damage but higher crit chance elsewhere and sink my armor into specifically damage. So that was the idea, using my armor as more of an offensive weapon than a defensive thing. Kind of trying to think outside the box a little bit. All right. And with my axe, I use the Ornate Battle Axe schematic. And what that allows you to do is put rogue materials into your upgrades. And then you want to find a haft and a pommel that also allow you to put things like leather in there as an offense when possible. You do not want a utility slot. You want offense. Specifically, leather offense slots. And that allows you to put critical chance and critical damage in there. Anyway, I'm not going to make one, but I'll show you what I used. All right, I used the dragon bone. And then down here, I'll show you what materials specifically I was looking for. Great Bear Hide gave me critical chance. Right, you double that up. That gives you 22 chance. This is just on your axe. This isn't counting the haft or the pommel yet. Okay. And then, what is it, a cloth slot? So I go for attack. And attack is fine. That's the equivalent of what, like 22 points of strength, I think? Awesome. Great. Okay, so that's where I'd go with that. Masterwork it however you want. Getting extra focus is great, so you can use your Berserker ability more often. Raising the overall stats by 10% will add to all the stats all the way down, including critical chance, critical damage, or whatever you put on there. So that helps. Lots of different things you can do. You might want to go guard on hit, which is real popular with people. I've never been a fan of that. Whatever. Okay, and then let's see. The firm pommel, notice this. 2 offense slots for leather just in the pommel. So I can probably raise my critical chance, what? 11% just like that, right? And there you go. So anyway, this is how I geared out my armor and my weapon. Like I say, the mask came from the Orlesian Ball, from the Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts quest, or whatever. And then we'll take a look at my accessories. I do want to see the name on this, make sure I was... There it is. Yeah, Mask of the Grand Duchess. There you go. Notice that. 12% critical chance plus... That's 15% critical chance right there. All right, and then for my rings, I stacked the Superb Ring of Critical Damage. Best returns I could get there. All right, I don't have an amulet worth crap, but there's that Enhanced Belt of Urgency. There it is. Moderate boost to attack when under 50%. Right, gotta love that thing. Anyway, I literally started this character and built it up just to get that one item, basically, and test some of the new upgrades. All right, and so playing a Nightmare, Friendly Fire. I'll show you the trials that I like to keep active. Even Ground, Walk Softly, Rest Easy. You lose all your focus when you camp somewhere. Travel Light, no more of the little replenishment boxes where you can get your potions back and stuff. And the bears are harder, right?
All right, so let's get in here and do this.
Makes it a lot of fun.
Over the top of this, that's fine. I can kill the audio later if I need to. And I forgot to get my potions. Well, that's fine. We don't really need them. Oh, he was immune to that stepping up, wasn't he?
All right, so I'll leave the audio here, actually, and I'll kind of get out of the way. This was during stream. Actually, all of this was snippets taken from a stream. Put this together, and this is the build we came up with. Like I said, there's still another piece of gear or two that we could probably get together to make this quote-unquote ideal. Maybe an Amulet of Strength or something along those lines. Sure enough. But anyway, I was happy with this. So you can see the overall numbers. Notice I'm swinging faster, and that was the whole point. And I don't even have Rampage. I don't even have a focus. I should have come in here with a focus ability ready so I could show you that too. Maybe a good tier 2 or tier 3 focus ability to really just go to town for a good, I don't know what, 15, 20 seconds or whatever. But anyway, so you can just imagine. But I think this gives you a good idea. But I wanted to be real specific on the skills, right? So I showed all the skill charts there and the gear specifically that I'm using. After this fight here, we will go look at my actual stats as far as critical chance, critical damage.
So she's level 23. I thought she was level 24. Okay, so I thought we were 3 levels under. She still has immunity to everything. Cold, vulnerability. Yeah, this would have been nice to have the Frost Rune, but the lightning's working. At least she's not immune to it. She's immune to just about everything else. She's immune to stealth, too. That Perceptive, that's nasty against rogues because you lose a lot of your stealth bonuses and stuff with that. As long as I've got my my health under that 50% mark, I'm getting my attack rate high, but I can still use all my weapon skills like dodge roll and all that. And I've got the stamina for it. Because the normal attacks give you your stamina back. Notice it's staying full. Even when I've got Ring of Pain on, it's still staying full. And I'm getting the same damage. It may be a little bit lower than the spike damage of Dragon Rage, but I'm hitting a lot more often. So I think it evens out. I really do. Alright, she's calling in the kids. Yeah, we're gonna have to go kill the babies here in a second. Maybe. I don't know, maybe we can just finish her ass off right here. That'd be nice. I don't think so. I think we'll probably... I don't know, my followers might be able to deal with the babies. They're set up alright. Oh, she's got her guard. Look at that, full block and mighty blow, and I got my stamina back. That's with I was about to say with Ring of Pain active. Maybe it wasn't. I'll let my followers do it. So they're keeping the barrier up. That's fine. Yeah, it's over. Oh, I wish I had my focus ability up. I'd finish her off with some Berserk. Yeah, son of a bitch, the dragon got me. Well, the baby. That's fine. Okay, let me just let them do their thing. I'm gonna finish her off. Nice of Vivian to get me right back up. More babies. Son of a bitch. Almost got her, too. Ah, at the very end, we got her. Let me finish all these off. There we go. That's funny. Over here. And I got fully healed, so I lose my... That's what I'm saying. And then you just bring in Dragon Rage to bring your health back down and so on and so forth. All right. Well, that was pretty fast. That was good enough.
I shall be happy to return to civilization again.
That will be nice. All right, so let's look at stats real quick. See where our critical chance is at. Without Varric. Now, if Varric's in the party, it adds 5 to it, right? Let's strength's nice with our armor. So our attack's at a solid 50%, which isn't real high. But the critical damage is nice, but the chance is what I'm talking about. So there's a 10% bonus chance that comes when you're near a dying enemy, along with a speed boost in the build, and then Varric adds 5 to that, so it basically caps, right? And there's also that one sigil that gives you a huge flanking damage bonus, but drops your attack. So it'd make my attack about 25, 26%. But then it would crank this up to like 225. And I stay behind enemies most of the time, so that's really something to consider for this, is using that sigil instead. But that's, you know, you can tweak little things like that to how you like to play. If you're never behind enemies, then you wouldn't want to use that. I tend to be behind enemies most, so it'd probably be advisable for me. But, anyway, so I think that's solid. Cool build. Cool build off basic attacks, and it really takes advantage of that speed. I would have liked to have gotten a focus ability in there, but it's cool. All right.
All right, thank you again to anyone who hung out on stream for sitting here and watching this. I hope it was at least something to give you something to think about. All right, you can catch my stream schedule down below. You can catch some of my other videos and playlists off to the left. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top. Y'all take care. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.